I dispel myth about working in the tech world because believing in them can ruin your life. I learned that in college. In my junior year, the hardest class was physical chemistry. The material is rather abstract and the grading was rather harsh. Midterm, final, average determined your grade, no homework, no extra credit, nothing to make up a failed midterm. If you flunked it, you had to get a B or better on the final to pass the class. And think about how crazy that sounds. You have to get a B or better on the same material you got an F on, and then twice as much again. Nevertheless, 5 weeks before the final, a young woman asked me to tutor her. She didn't say it, but it sounded under the words, essentially. You're a guy, you understand science. Can you explain it in a way that a woman can understand it? And I had to burst the bubble. No, I didn't understand the material. Electrons running around in orbitals, Schrödinger's cat. But I didn't care. I'd worked as an intern. I knew the material had very little bearing on what engineers do day to day, most of them anyways. She had to approach the problem the engineering way and solve it. And the problem was not understanding the material, the problem was passing the exam. So we went through practice questions so she could understand how to decipher the English, which was the hard part, not the science. Once you figure out the equation and the boundary conditions, you plug it in, you do the math she's been doing since she started college. We still did practice drills because you only had 15 minutes and you couldn't afford mistakes. When the professor handed back the finals, he went on and on and on about this one student that was so improved. And even though her grade averaged out to a C, which is what you get if you average an A and an F, he gave her a B in class. She passed, she continued on in her studies and could go on as an engineer. She had to see the way and believe it. That was all. It was just a little thing. But once she got past that she couldn't understand this material, she managed to ace the final. Young people need role models to show them the way, but it's hard to find enough of them in the flesh. So if you know a high school or middle school student who's struggling with her future, give her the gift of Cyberspiracy, a role model that in an exciting and fun way teaches them about the tech world. And yes, a student may not stop nuclear war, but she may be the next Melinda Gates and stop malaria.